Hello everyone, welcome to my crafty chit chat and slow stitching video. Well, this is my weekly Monday video. I put this video out every Monday where we just kind of do a little bit of slow stitching and I share some crafty, I don't know, something new I got or whatever. Although on this video, I think it's going to be all about sewing. So, all right, so I'm working on actually, we're going to finish together my black and white Just Because book. So this is a challenge by Susan Taylor Brown, and her YouTube link is below. Now, let me just share with you what I've done so far. So you guys have seen the cover already. You've seen these 2 pages, and yes, it's black and white, but I added my pink to it. And then we did this last week over here. Since then, oh no, we did this last week. That's what we did last week. We did this the week before. So this was last week's video. So since then, I've done this block right here and this most adorable little block. I added some gray for the first time. I wasn't going to do that, but I just had to because I love the look of it. So that's what I did. And so all of my pages are sewn in. They're all sewn in, even the very last page. So this is the last page that we're going to sew the block, and then we're going to sew it in here together. So this video may go longer than 30 minutes. I'm just warning you now. And I put the other cluster on the back, and we are going to sew this and everything else on all at once, right? So we're going to sew this now, and then we're going to put it in here and sew this and that block together all at the same time. And yeah, so that's going to be the back of my Just Because book. How cool is that? I'm loving this. All right, sorry. I'm so sorry about my voice. You know what? It's allergy time, and that's all I can say. All right, so I'm going to get stitching here. So I have, obviously, it's together. I just took different pieces from just that I had sitting around, and I put them together. And yeah, so I came up with this little, I'm going to move that, this little grouping here that we will sew. So I know I'm taking it apart a little bit, but I just want to make sure that I have the pieces where I want them. Because what I like to do is, I like to make things as easy as possible and sew as many pieces as I can on at the same time. So, you know, this one is going to cause me a little problem up here. I can see this, but that's all right. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it all out. I need another pin. All right, so we're going to just get started here. So now I have to figure, you know, I've been using black and white thread. What do I want to use? I think I'm going to go with black thread. And so what I want to make sure I do, so here's my block underneath here, and I explained how I do this with a block, starting with a block. I explained that in last week's video, so you can certainly you know, watch last week's video and check that out. So I'm just going to kind of go up here like this. Now my goal in sewing this piece on here, I'm grabbing the block on the back, and I want to grab this lace that I have on the side. So I'm going to do my best to do that. And if I needed to, I could always come back on, come back and, um, you know, I don't know, like just kind of make sure that everything is tacked down the way I need it to be, so it's not gonna fall apart. All right, so I think so far so good. Okay, so now, well, let me pull this through. Oopsie, now, did I grab that? I'm gonna pull this out because I'm not sure that I grabbed all of this correctly. Let me just do this. And I'm going to do this one more time, and I'll pull that through. And then we're going to make sure that this top piece, which is so cute, actually gets sewn down. I want it up high enough to where you can see the cute little flower, right? And I have to make sure, well, let me do this. So if I do that, let me get through this. We're going to turn it over and go through like that. So I'm sure that I get the flower. And I have to also make sure that I'm down far enough from this black piece of fabric so that I am not too close to the frayed edge. So I just need to be careful of that as well. So I'm going to actually scoot over, right? I'm going to scoot over and grab this flower. Make sure I get that on there. So it was really hard, like pinning that piece on there because it was just flopping around, and yeah. So, all right, so let me, okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this. And go through, and now we're getting even another piece of fabric. Make sure I don't pull, oops, oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy. All right, good, good, good. All right, so I'm going to remove this pin, make sure I have that where I want it. And we're going to finish getting that last flower sewn. And yep. Oh, that looks good. That up top there, it looks cute, right? It looks cute. Let me zoom in just a little bit. All right, now I have to move where I'm sewing. Okay, so that should be a little bit better. Okay, so now I'm just going to go down here and sew. Just get all these down. Now, one thing I have to think about at this point, oops, is where do I go from here, right? So there's the other side of this little piece of fabric. Do I care? I mean, you guys know I like to leave, fabric and lace loose. I don't mind that at all. I like it. But I do know I'm going to be putting this flower on here. So it looks like I'll be grabbing some of this striped fabric when I sew that. So I'm not concerned. I don't feel like I need to go over here and sew right now. So I'm just going to continue down, and hopefully me like really explaining my thought process might help somebody. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that there's any right or wrong. It's just do what works best for you. And I could do some cantha stitching on here, But I'm not going to take the time to do that because, like I said, I feel like this video could be long anyway. So I just want to kind of move along quickly here. But not too quickly because this is slow stitching, right? Oops, I have to make sure, right? I have to make sure that I'm on the block on the back. So I have to go up high enough to make sure. So let's see. So that's good. And I'm trying really hard to remember to go in from the bottom, from the underneath when I need to, and go in from the top when I need to, because it seems like in every single video, at least once I go in from the wrong direction, at least once. So I'm trying really hard to be aware of this, what I'm doing. Okay, so now let's talk again. So, okay, so that's a little crooked, but I'm going to go with it. So this is, like I said, going to go here. So I'm not concerned about any, having to sew anything else down in the middle here because this is going to go down. And what I'm going to do is take, and I'll explain this a little bit more, but this is going to be a little bit of couching right there. So I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So I'm going to tie this off. And let me, because I want to switch over to the white, thread. And I'm using pearl size 8, which is my favorite. It is. I love using pearl thread. It is my go-to. I find it the easiest to work with, and I like the size 8. I don't have any other size, to be totally honest. I don't have any other size, so I can't really compare for you, but I do know that that I like this, so I stick with it. I found something that I like, so I don't necessarily think I need to buy other sizes. I know people use size 12 and size 5, I think it is. Yeah, but I'm good with come on, with what I have. So I kind of rather have more colors in size 8 than less like, so if, I guess what I'm saying is that, like, if I'm going to go buy more pearl thread, I can't find this hole. If I'm going to go buy more pearl thread, I'm going to buy size 8 in more colors so I have a nice color selection, as opposed to having, the same colors in all the sizes. Yeah, I'm not to that point. I don't need it. What I have is really good. I'm happy with the size of the thread. I am happy even at this point with the colors I have. What's interesting though is all I'm doing is I'm going to do a little stitch at the end of each of the petals of the flower. Is my local fabric store, they cannot get in pearl thread in like white and beige. They can't. They've been trying for, I don't know, I think he said like 18 months or something. I mean, it's been like a really long time. I don't know. So, and I would like to try to buy from them, of course. So, I just keep going back there. I don't need it right now, but I do have a small fear of running out, because those are, you know, my most used colors. And of course, black. I use a lot of black, but like the white and the different color of like beige. Oh yeah. Yeah, I use them all the time. All the time. So I'll go back and see again. You know, I'll keep checking. I'll keep checking. Okay, I'm going to scoot over here and do this one. And so this is good because it's tacking down, like I said, all of the fabric underneath. And you saw me add that old vintage button. I thought it looked so perfect. It has a little bit of a design on it. And I thought that was like so perfect for a flower because it kind of looks like a flower in itself. And that I got from a bin that was my grandmother's. So I know it's old, and it looks old. It feels old. It's even a bit dirty. I have another one, the same design, but this one is like, I don't know, it's almost like dirty. So I went with the better of the two. All right, so now I have this down. So the last thing that I want to do to this block, come on, the last thing I want to do to this block, right, so I have everything on there, everything's sewn down except for this little piece of, it's just a little piece of linen fabric. And when I'm going to couch, what I do is I take my fabric, cut it to size, I twist it. Literally, I just twist it like this. And I just take a needle and thread and I go through it once. So all I'm trying to do is to, instead of it being just a flat piece of fabric, I now have something that I feel I can couch. So, but what I want to do is I want to switch to my black thread because I do want to be able to see the black on that white. So, oops. Sometimes my tying off and knotting is so nice and neat, and other times it's a mess. All right, let me mute those. Okay, so I know, you know, I knew how long I wanted to have it. And so I'm just going to start. I guess I'll just start at one end. I want it just kind of like that. And I like it to be a little, have a little curve to it. So all I'm going to do is, this is how I don't know. This just kind of makes sense to me. So, you know, starting can be almost the hardest thing with couching. Not that couching is hard, because I love couching. I find it very relaxing. But just getting the end of it, so like I'm going to put, I don't know, 2 or 3 stitches on the end to make sure that it's kind of flat. You don't have to make sure it's flat, but like that, that's good. I just want to make sure it's not really sticking up. So now I'm going to kind of hop on over here. And this almost looks to me, I mean, I know this is another flower under here, these 2 petals, but to me it looks like it could be the leaves of this flower. So I thought that that was kind of cool. So that was kind of my thought process on leaving those 2 little petals right there. Yep. So I'm going to kind of go downward at this point, and then we're going to kind of curve upward. And you can make, when you do your couching, so like you can put your thread as far apart from one another that you would like. You can scrunch it up to make the fabric narrower, or you can go pretty far apart. Like I feel like that's what I'm doing, where I'm not trying to scrunch up this fabric too much. Like I'm not trying to condense it too much. I'm leaving it very, I'm leaving it frayed. I'm leaving it looking, I don't want to say undone. It's just, I don't want the perfection there, And that's why I think, so if you don't know Susan Taylor Brown, definitely check her out. Her style is very much what I like, the imperfection. And even when I was watercolor painting, and I still like to watercolor paint, but anyway, but when I was doing it like a lot, like Angela Fair is the watercolor artist that I would just drool over her work, yet other people would be like, well, what even is that? And so that's just who I am, no matter what kind of art I'm working on. I like that. And I think I've said this before to all of you is, that was what I learned. What do I do with this little piece? I think I'll just sew right through it. With mixed media many years ago. So now I can look at that. Now I have to decide on the end. Do I want to just like leave it and hang like that? I like it. I think that that's cute. I think that that block is done. So I'm going to knot that off and we will sew this into the book. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that I am done with this cute little journal. This little book. All right, so now let me grab the book. And this is going to be a challenge because like I said, I am sewing a lot on together at the same time. So we're sewing this block. We're sewing this onto the block. So let me get that down. There's like, I don't know, so many layers right here. It's thick. It is actually thick. It's hard to get the needle through. Okay, so we're sewing that. We're sewing this black piece of lace, which you can actually see from the back. And I'm putting that there because it's on the front as well. So it's the same piece of black lace I'm putting on the back. We're sewing actually this white piece of lace down because that's not sewn yet. And we're sewing this cluster on here. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But I'm going to give it a try. And yeah, and what I'm going to do is sometimes like I like to try to hide my sewing. See, now I have to, I missed the cluster. So I don't want to go there. I have to go further down. So I'm going to go further down and make sure. I'm still not getting the cluster quite right. So let's see. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do this. Now, I am not grabbing that black lace. I can tell I'm not. So, and I want to say I messed up, but I'm not going to look at it as being messed up. So I have an odd stitch right there, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it. So I think what I need to do is to be more concerned or more aware of what is happening with that cluster than my sewing on this block, right? Because the cluster, yeah, see, I keep missing the cluster. So I need to make sure that I get that cluster on. So my sewing on the other side, like you can't even really see the white thread on the cluster, which is probably good because it's kind of probably a mess right now. I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to go with it. Yeah. Just want to make sure that I have that down good. I must be going through, I don't know, 8 different pieces of fabric. At least 8, right? Between the cluster, the block, and everything that we just sewed onto the block, plus this lace, plus the burlap. I mean, there's a lot going on here. Okay, so that is sewn up on top. It is not straight. I kind of like it. I can come back and even make these cross stitches, so I might do that. Might not. Okay, so I'm going to continue down. And, yep, and that will be fine. So I'm going to make sure. Yep. Oops, I'm grabbing the pink fiber. Excuse me. You know, I'm trying not to use all of my allergy medicine that I usually use because I'm just, you know, if you can get away without using medicine, right? Sometimes I think that's better. So I'm trying to only use my nose spray right now, but we'll see. I might have to pull out everything and get using it. The fact that it is actually May 2nd on the day that this video goes live, I'm recording it on Saturday. You know, it's basically May when I'm recording this. Tomorrow will be May 1st, Sunday, May 1st. Usually by now, I'm a mess with allergies. And I'm not. So that's good. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start removing pins. Oh, and what I was thinking, remember in last week's video, I kept trying to find a word. So here I have to watch again. I want to make sure I get the bottom of the cluster. I kept talking about how once you sew all of this together, how it just becomes, I forget what word I was using last week, but I thought of a better word, that it becomes more structured. Sorry, I just got a phone call from my mother, so I had to take that. Yeah, so I came up with structurally sound, right? It becomes very structurally, wait, let me get this in here, structurally to where, see it now, I'm like losing my, like what I was thinking, that it's structurally put together really, really tight and really, really well. So I think I was talking about that I'd like to leave pieces loose, but that it was okay because when I sew all of the pieces together, It's so interesting how almost every single time I miss that cluster. But it's okay that I don't sew everything down in the beginning, because when I do this process right here, where I'm sewing the block onto the book, what am I gonna do here? I guess I'll just, no, you know what I'm gonna do? I don't want to go over that couching with white, so I'm gonna kind of come up on this side. Yep. Yeah, so it just becomes more structurally sound when I sew the block into the book. Yeah, so that's probably good terminology for me to use. And I do have to say, well, this is like just hanging there, that little pin. I do have to say that, yeah, I'm definitely missing that black. So we'll see if I can grab it this time. Let's see. So I think what I'll do, I'm just going to keep going here. You know, I don't, as you can tell, I don't worry too much about the look. And I think I'm going to have to sew this little guy down a little better. It keeps moving. Yeah, I don't worry too much at this stage what, you know, is the thread super neat? Does it look perfect? Blah, blah, blah. I don't, you know, I just get it down. And then I have to tell you, so far, I have always liked the outcome. Because if the thread is a little wonky, let me get this needle out of here. I don't need these needles. I'll keep that one in there. Yeah, you know, if it comes out a little wonky, it's even better. It's even better. All right, we're almost done. And then I'm going to show you, I can pull this out now. Then I'm going to show you how I'm going to keep it all together. Right, I'm going to use a pretty piece of a yarn to like act as a closure. And you don't have to. I just thought that it would look pretty. All right, so now what I have to do, I think what I'm going to do, since I'm even running out of thread, is let me kind of tie this off. All right. So see, this is all down now. This is done. This is on there. It's all sewn all the way around. A little bit of the pink from the other side came through. It's the only thing working with like the fibers like I have over here is they end up coming through with my needles when when I'm pulling the needle through. But anyway, and this is all down. What isn't down is this black lace. I'm just gonna try to do a little knot down here. Nothing major. Okay, so that's good. So I'm going to get rid of that. Now I'm going to go back to the black thread and let's get this down. So if I look at the way I did it on the front, I did stitches this way because what I'm trying to do, part of what I'm trying to do here is, now, I mean, you're going to see, you're gonna see my knot at the end of this. You just are. So, you know, you kind of have to just roll with it. So what I'm trying to do at this point is to keep the burlap from fraying. So that's what this stitch is all about, is to hopefully keep it from fraying. Because I didn't do anything. I probably should have. When I started this book, you know, done something. Like, I don't know, but this burlap is it's big burlap, right? It's not small burlap, meaning that the holes are like really big, and they're very flexible. So, okay, so now I'm going to kind of look. Now, this to me, this is good right here where I sewed right here. Right, it's not going anywhere. Everything is in there. The burlap is in there. Everything is in there real good. I'm going to tie this off and then just sew the other end of the burlap down, and we're done. Oh my gosh, this was a lot of fun. I did a lot of work, not a lot of work. I did a few of these pages off camera. Because I was so excited. I wanted to work on it and get it done. So, all right. And I know that Susan is having, I think she said in June, another challenge that she'll put out there. All right, so let's see. So this end... Which end is sewn? Okay, this end is sewn. This end is not sewn. So we're going to go, and we're just going to do the same thing. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Going the wrong way. So I'll just put in a few stitches here. And then we'll just check everything. See how that little heart moves? I just have it stitched down with just that one French knot in the middle. I might have to do more there. All right. Okay, I think this is the last stitch. I do. And let's tie it off. So I guess I'll just go underneath here and let's just tie it off underneath. And that's the actual block, that white block that I'm sewing onto right now. So now, like I was saying before, this block and all the fabric, everything, even the burlap, is structurally sound. It's not going anywhere. It's all on there. This little heart is bugging the heck out of me, but besides that, come on. Everything is down. Everything is down. You can see where I sewed in all of the pages. This black is down, the black lace. Ooh, it's done. It's done. That's it. So, yep. So this is my little black and white book. I even thought of fixing this because it's definitely scrunched a little crooked, but then I'm like, what the heck? Okay, this is my Just Because book. My black and white Just Because book with a pop of pink. Now, the way that I'm going to keep it closed is I have this piece of yarn, and it's super pretty yarn. It has some silver running through it. So I can just, and I wouldn't do it tight or anything. You know, I don't want to scrunch the book. I would put it around twice and then just do a simple little A simple little bow. And that's it. That's it. Super cute, right? Super cute. Super cute. Oh, I love it. It's a little chunky. Little chunky. Oh my gosh, I just love it. I love it. That's what it looks like from the top, from the bottom. Oh, I love it. Super cute. All right. Well, thank you all for, sticking with me through this, finishing up this Just Because book, the black and white Just Because book. Next week and next Monday, I'll come back and, and I want to mention, I'm having a giveaway this month for my retirement. I'll put the video link below. Yeah. So please check out my giveaway video. It's throughout the month of May up through May 28th. There's multiple ways to enter. So definitely check out my giveaway announcement video. The link will be below. I want you all to participate. But what I'll be sewing next Monday is probably another piece to give away in the giveaway. I have multiple pieces already, and I want to do one more. So that's probably what I will start working on next week. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless. Bye-bye.